Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final Rise of Shadows card reveal live stream. My name is Chris. I'm a community dude here on the Hearthstone team. You probably already know these guys, but in case you don't, gentlemen, would you mind introducing yourselves?
All right, we starting with me?
We're gonna, you,
all right,
absolutely.
Sure.
You're first.
I'm right here, I'm
Why
just
not?
like the closest. I'm Brian Kibler. I'm a Hearthstone streamer, YouTuber, commentator. I've been playing the game since beta, so yeah, that's me.
That's good. Great intro, Brian.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm Dean. I'm a designer on the Hearthstone team. I've been working on every expansion, since back in the Naxxramas days. So, it's pretty cool that we're about to release another one. It's always pretty big, exciting time for us here at Blizzard.
Absolutely. So, folks, before we dive into the action, Dean, I was curious to see if you wouldn't mind recapping some of the announcements that we've made for Rise of Shadows, some of the keywords that have come out,
Sure.
maybe even your favorite card that we've seen so far.
Sure. So we're introducing a new keyword. It's Twin Spell. They're cards that you can cast twice. It creates a lot of interesting dynamics, because unlike Echo cards, we can put them on really high cost cards, 8, 7 cost cards, and you have these really great value generators in late game. We have lackeys, which are 1-cost battlecry minions that are generated by a bunch of different random effects. So it's pretty good in decks like rogue decks because you can use them alongside combo effects and things like that. One of the things I'm most excited about is schemes. You have the evil plots that a lot of these these evil leaders have been working on, and they're cards that upgrade in your hand every turn. So the longer you hold them, the cooler they get, right? So those are the ones I'm probably the most excited for. In gameplay, it's kind of interesting to you're holding onto a card and you're trying to decide okay, do I play this now or do I wait longer? It's kind of just a risk reward kind of thing.
Absolutely. Pros and cons. Ryan, any particular cards that you're super jazzed about for this expansion?
Well, I'm actually just super stoked for rogue in general, both the sort of burgle, steal, thief, rogue synergy stuff. There's Vendetta, I think, which is the 4-cost spell, deals 4 to a minion.
People love burgle.
0
rogue,
if you have a card from outside your class. And also the lackeys, the synergy there with Spirit of the Shark seems super cool.
Yep.
Those are the 2 decks I've probably had the most fun playing recently, even now. Before we rotate, get all these new Rise of Shadow cards are Shark Rogue and Academic Espionage Thief Rogue, and looks like they're both getting a bunch of cool stuff.
It's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah.
Cool.
So for today's stream, folks, we have 28 brand new cards to reveal. 28. It's going to be super awesome. We've got 4 matches. We've got our opponent, Chalky, who's waiting for us. He's trying to get the one up on Kibler this time because we know that Cora beat him 3-2 last time. We're not keeping track or anything, but again, 3-2. We've got 8 of the 9 classes that we're going to be showcasing today, and we've got brand new cards in every single deck, not only in Chalky's decks, but in ours. So it's going to be super awesome. We're about to jump into the gameplay here in about 2 minutes. So again, you don't want to miss out. Don't go anywhere. But before we do, a couple quick things that I did want to say. First off, so Rise of Shadows is dropping April 9th. So yes, mark your calendars, April 9th. It's going to be a good time. Pre-release weekend. I cannot speak today. This is the second stream in a row.
It's good that you don't have to talk or anything.
okay.
It's not like it's your job here.
I'm awful with words. Yet,
It makes sense.
flame me, please, because I am awful at words. So anyways, we have pre-release weekend. Now, hey, I can actually speak. Starting April 5th. So if you've never done a pre-release weekend before, it's super cool. You have a chance to hang out with your friends and family. You can open up the packs that you have pre-ordered, and you can build decks with those cards that you open up from those packs. There's also another Tavern Brawl format where you can utilize deck recipes that Dean and his team have put together that you can also check out. So I think, Brian, you've done these before, right?
The pre-releases are pretty cool. The format where you can use all the cards you open, no cards barred, I think is the name of it in the client. You get some crazy things where you have because there's no restrictions class-wise or card number-wise. Right. I think for Rostacon's Rumble, I had a deck that had 6 Dragon Roars and Talanji,
Seems
which
good.
is pretty fun.
Oh my gosh.
So
sounds meta.
You can do some ridiculous things that you just can't in any other format in Hearthstone.
Right.
And then obviously with the deck recipes, getting a chance to try the new cards before they actually release. And what sort of style of decks you enjoy, I think was a lot of fun.
Right. And you're doing one this weekend.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be hosting one at a restaurant called The Bellows in San Marcos. So if people are, it's funny. My friend is actually the executive chef of the restaurant, and I met him because he recognized my voice because he watched, my
You just
video.
walk
there you
out,
go.
like, is that Brian Kibler?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing there's gonna be a bunch of like Hearthstone themed snacks and stuff, and he's doing giveaways of gift certificates for the restaurant for anyone who opens Chef Nomi. So should be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Very on point.
If more
very
info on
thematic.
that, you can find it on my Twitter or on like a Facebook event that I created. So check it out.
Yeah, so tune in that. So I know we have the Santa Ana one here on April 5th. So if you all are there, would love to see you and say hello. Dean, are you going to be tuning into that one?
I'll be there, and
gonna
I
be
think
there.
I'm probably going to go to Brian's as well. So I'm going to be, at all kinds of fireside gatherings.
Look at that. Having fun together. It's going to be great.
I think
it's
you can
gonna
find those on the website too. Just in general, if there's one near
Yeah.
you, it's firesidegatherings.com.
That's true.
Yes.
You can search for any event in your area if you don't happen to be in Southern California and come to the ones we'll be at. So.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes, you can either start one yourself or, like Brian just said, join one in an area near you.
That's actually a big thing. You can just do this from your house. You can just invite your friends over. This is what I did for the last one for Us Guns Rumble. I just had some people over to my house, did a private fireside gathering, and we were able to just kind of hang out in my living room playing Hearthstone all day.
Just
Great
jamming
stuff,
against
which
each
is a lot
other
of
on the
fun.
same network. And
Yeah.
Yep.
it's really cool to play like before, a bunch of stuff has been figured out. And there's like data and all on the internet everywhere, and you can kind of just like figure out for yourself what you think is fun and what you think is powerful.
Exactly. Yeah, I know Crip and Toast and a bunch of others have also done that. So super cool pre-release weekend. Tune in. The last thing I did want to say, thank you all so much for the feedback that you gave after the first live stream. We're listening, and we've already made changes to this live stream. Speaking of, it's gameplay time. Let's cut the intro and just get right to it. So we've got our first match. It's going to be Chalky versus Kibler. Kibler's going to be playing. I cannot speak. Good gracious. It's okay. He's going to be playing Priest, and then we've got Chalky playing Rogue. We've got 9 new cards to showcase for this first match.
But I want to play both Priest and Rogue.
Maybe some other time. I promise. We're going to get to it.
All right, fair.
But,
Priest, fine.
so again, Cora 3-2 Chalky last time. Brian, are we going to go 4-0 on Chalky? Is this what we're doing?
I mean, I didn't build these decks. I don't know.
Oh, come on. Confidence, man.
Yes.
Confidence.
Good,
All right.
good.
Well, let's
I wonder
cut
what
the
lifetime
chatter.
record is in the
That's a
reveal
good
streams. I'm
question.
curious. I've actually done a bunch of them.
It
now.
usually depends on who the person is on the other side, because either they're trying, make a good game, or they're just trying to crush you. So,
I mean, my goal is just to get to all the new cards and see what they do.
right. Yeah.
Speaking of,
Let's do it.
let's get
in,
to it.
yeah.
Folks, Dean and Brian are going to take it from here. We're going to dive into the gameplay right now. Enjoy.
So let's just challenge Chalky. Here's what I'm doing.
All right, so we're playing Priest first, yeah?
Priest is first. Yep. Chalky's playing Rogue.
All
We are
right.
playing Priest.
Cool.
It's like a weirdly unsensitive.
Yes, yes, I felt that
So
as
we're like
well.
playing like Overwatch hit scan with this or something.
This would be not good, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
How's your sensitivity for Hearthstone? Do you keep it real high?
Like
or do you
literally, I
leave it
go
low?
like this and it like shoots across the screen.
Okay, yeah. I actually tend to like have a space like this on my keyboard that's about this size because my sensitivity is so high that I don't need to move my
Right.
hand
Yeah.
well.
I have actually have a little Shiro mouse pad.
Wow, of course you do, of course.
Of course I do. Okay, let's check out what we got here. This is a new one. Potion Vendor. Battle Cry, restore 2 health to all friendly characters. Okay, so there's like the fungal enchanter
Yeah,
from...
yeah. Kind of like Fungal Enchanter, but 1 mana, so it's a little bit more
Look at this
flexible in
combo
the text
right
box.
here. Northshire Cleric, Wild Pyromancer, Potion. I'm going to keep these. Mulligan this Ancient Watcher, I think. Though, if there's an Ancient Watcher in my deck, there's probably an Ancient Watcher in my deck for a reason.
Probably means you're doing things with Ancient
But then
Watcher, I
don't-
would imagine.
Okay, I'm just going to keep this hand.
All right.
Okay.
That sounds good.
We're keeping this entire hand.
There's only 1 new card in it.
There is, but the combination of these 3
Yeah.
cards draws me more new cards.
Maybe the Ancient Watcher is just a bait, and this is not actually.
It's just an
anything
Ancient Watcher
new.
made it for no reason.
Hopefully that's not true. I think Keaton actually built your deck, so it's
Okay, so
possible.
is he just trolling me? Putting Ancient Watcher
Put
in?
really bad
We'll
cards in
play
your
this
deck.
clip.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think Keaton's doing? We've seen some Rogue stuff so far. Rogue is doing some wacky stuff in the set.
There's the Thief Rogue stuff, supporting like what I think is also, by the way, a cool new direction for the Thief Rogue. There's the Pirate, who you get a card that's from a different class, discover card from a different class, not from your opponent's class.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, playing Thief Rogue against other rogues.
It makes the mirror
is-
like much more palatable when
right.
you're getting stuff from another class instead.
All right, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and play this Ancient Watcher here first. And get you. And we're gonna wait to set up our Potion Vendor later.
Right.
Because next turn we can play Pyromancer, silence this, Potion Vendor, draw 3 cards, which seems sweet.
That seems really good. Yeah.
Oh my God, this mouse sensitivity is killing me. Blink Fox. Oh, don't Vendetta me. Don't Vendetta me, bro.
Vendetta would be quite good.
Do
here.
not. Yeah, thank God.
Okay.
Oof, okay.
So
Oh God.
What's the order on this?
We Pyromancer first, and then we silence. Boom.
This is gonna
Potion Bender.
This is gonna be a lot of cards. You can coin potion.
I
benders.
know!
That's insane. Yeah.
We draw 3.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Oh god. Well, one interesting thing about this is almost always when you play something that's going to draw you cards with the cleric, it's another spell.
Yeah.
So it ends up immediately triggering with the pyromancer. With this, it's not a creature, or rather, it's not a spell. It's a minion.
Right. So we can attack that guy and then coin.
Yeah.
And
Let's
then
do this. Boom. Boom.
and I guess we probably
We drew another new card. Dalaran Librarian. I was like too caught up in how many cards I'm drawing. I forgot to do it. Silence adjacent minions. Okay, so this is like another silence effect for.
Yep, it's another silence build around. So I mean, there's a little bit more silence-free stuff going on. A little bit more than when we introduced Purify. So there's a little more stuff going on.
Draw 3, then we draw 3 more.
Right.
Because this will trigger this. Oh, we're just gonna get all the new cards right here. Look at this. Oh my god! Oh, I'm not gonna burn a card. I'm at exactly 9.
Wow.
Yes!
Planned. How do you know that you only have 9 cards?
What? Because I counted.
Okay, yeah. For me, it's like when the left card falls beneath the board. Yeah.
I do like the fact that you can just mouse over your deck now to see.
Yeah, that's actually much. It's actually much more useful.
So we have new cards.
All right, so let's go over them.
Can't attack unless you have spell damage. Huh. 3 cost 5/6. Okay.
That's pretty good. It's a little like Ancient Watcher.
Yeah.
So you can either.
Right. So you can play it in this style of deck with silence effects, or obviously if you just have spell damage.
You can do it spell damage as well, right?
It's kind of like a Spirit Claws type thing. Ultra efficient if you have spell damage.
Right.
Although you can't play it and then immediately get your spell damage totem. All right, and then another one. 4 cost 4/7, death rattle restore 5 health to enemy hero. Kind of like a giant zombie chow.
Yep. Exactly like that. It's pretty good to silence. Like, and if you don't silence it, you still have stuff like Soul Priest and cards like that can turn the damage.
He got himself a lack. And then there's still another new card.
Yeah. Convincing Infiltrator.
2/6 taunt death rattle restore random any minion. Whoa!
That's pretty just good. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So I actually we were just talking on Omnistone yesterday. I have so many cards in here. We'll just play this one for now, I think. This is another newish card. Spend only random destroy minion with that much attack or less. No real reason to use this right now. We could just, no, I don't know the circle feeling. This is 2 different zeros.
We're probably thinking Shade Quill, or I think Watcher and Power Word Shield our guy, so it doesn't die as easy to the 1/1.
Wait, so this is the Watcher guy, right? So I have a silence effect for. Okay, I actually think I am going to play this guy.
I think Watcher Power Word Shield is probably pretty good.
Because
I guess Power Word Shield would have been better to go first.
Well, I can play another Arcane Watcher and then silence both of them with my my Dalaran Librarian over here.
Right.
I like that. I like the theme Dalaran Librarian. Shush.
Yeah. I think that was one of the.
This is a library.
So then Keaton plays a deck when playtesting a lot for Rise of Shadows that he called Shh. That was the name of his deck.
But this card, I want to get back to this.
Yes.
Because I was just looking. There's the 2/2 that makes a 2/2 death rattle of a minion, right?
Right.
I forget the name of that card, but I saw it yesterday.
Changed names so many times.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I was saying, it's like, oh well, I don't know. We don't have Twilight's Call anymore. There's a lot of the sort of death rattle reasons you play death rattle stuff, like the Priest Quest. These things are rotating out with the expansion. But if there's something like this, 2/6 taunt death rattle, kill your opponent's guy. That's a really good card to just either be able to trigger the death rattle automatically or make a small copy of it to trigger death rattle. Ooh, so we've got a Omega Devastator. Didn't have 10 mana crystals though. All right, so we're gonna play our other. Where was it? It's over here. Arcane Watcher.
Or the Watcher, and then we can silence him, and then this is gonna be a pretty good turn for us. Very nice. Yeah, the thing with a lot of going back to convincing Infiltrator, like it's nice to be able to just play that card kind of on its own, and there's some synergies and stuff that you can do with it, but you can also just play it as a 5-drop and it kind of functions on its own. So a lot of times it's hard to try to include a lot of cards. It's like these are only good in a combo space, or it's kind of good just on its
Right.
own in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, this is, if, like, think of a Sludge Belcher. That was
Yeah.
a super powerful taunt minion for a while. Often had, like, very similar effective health. And your opponent had to attack twice to get through it. But this, like, they attack once, they kill it. It's like, okay, maybe your
Right.
next guy who's going to attack dies.
This is good against like
Any kind of mid-range type deck, any kind of big minion deck. Yeah, that card seems quite strong. Vendetta.
Yeah, Vendetta's one of those cards
card
that we hope is one of the cards that gets the Burger Rogue archetype going. And this one is also, I think, one of the most underrated cards.
Yeah, this card seems extremely powerful.
A lot of what I've read online is, I think this one's kind of been flying under the radar, honestly, where in playtesting it's been really, really good. 1/5 just beats a lot of things.
Look at that, too. It's like, okay, well, now he's at 2/5 rush because of the lackey, and obviously giving you multiple lackeys
Yeah.
is really powerful. And also, one of the big things with the lackeys and everything in Rogue, the power level of Spirit of the Shark. Spirit of the Shark's a card that hasn't really seen a ton of play in like really top competitive Rogue decks,
Yep.
but was really nuts in that one Tavern Brawl.
Yes.
And is a lot of fun with a lot of different stuff. But with the lackeys, having this give you 4 lackeys, all of which have double effects, that are all really cheap and combo really well with the Spirit of the Shark, I think is really exciting. All right, well, I'm gonna hit him in the face with Arcane Watcher for sure.
Seems good.
And then,
We've got our new cards. We've got Circle and Blade Master we can do. We kind of don't want to heal this guy.
well, I could. No, I can't. I can't Blade Master Circle into Forbidden Words. I could just play.
And you can do that. You can Blade Master Circle into Forbidden Words.
But not to kill this. That's too power. I think we're gonna go ahead and just play
Blade Master
this
Circle.
guy. This guy.
Okay.
And this is gonna hit my head in the face.
Rogue is getting low. A good way to beat
Yeah.
Rogue is by hitting them in the face,
Right.
I've heard, yeah. But there's a lot of playtesting games where we do like Rogue versus Hunter. And that just kind of goes back to like, why Spirit of the Shark maybe didn't make it. Because when you're Rogue, you kind of don't have access to taunt. You don't have access to healing. So when you're doing a bunch of like value-oriented stuff, it's hard to get that going.
Yes.
So
for sure.
even though like lackeys work pretty well with Spirit of the Shark, I think that like even when
need some
that
time.
Yeah, you need some time to be able to do it. But the lackeys kind of accomplish that as well because a lot of them are kind of temp oriented, like deal some
for sure.
damage or give some guys a rush. So it helps you get to the late games where you can do a lot of these value oriented plays. So we've got Silence in our hand for our 4/5, or maybe our 4/7.
Well, my plan right now is to just play the
Oh
Librarian.
yeah, play the
between these
Librarian.
two.
The Librarian's very good there.
I can
Yeah.
even play Librarian between these two. If I wanted to value trade and then Circle, I have that option. Then I can follow up with the Infiltrator. Ooh, what's that? New card.
Waggle pick.
Let's take a look. 4-cost, 4/2 weapon. Death Rattle, return a random friendly minion to your hand. It costs 2 less. Huh.
So maybe an upside, maybe a downside, kind of depending on how your deck is set up.
Yeah. All right. And ooh, get to Death Rattle. Gain some life. So, I mean, a 4-cost weapon, 4-cost 4-power weapon is just pretty good straight up.
Yep.
It can kill a lot of strong things on curve, can do a lot of damage to the opponent. And, obviously, if you are just ahead of the board with a bunch of guys, that can kind of suck. But if you have a bunch of battle cry abilities, say in a lackey / Spirit of the Shark deck.
Yeah,
it
you
has a lot of
definitely want to do
possibilities.
this in a value-oriented deck.
New card, by the way.
Another new card.
Silence a friendly minion, then summon a copy of it. Ooh.
Some more Silence Priest build around stuff going on here. So I mean, what that'll do is it's going to silence the Ancient Watcher, and then it's going to summon a silenced Ancient Watcher.
that.
Which is much better than a not silenced Ancient Watcher.
All right. Well. Well, I'm just gonna max value this way. I was gonna hit him in the face, but
I feel like you're being a little wishy-washy.
I plan on playing the Injured Blade Master and Circle this turn.
So this is just so much value.
Right.
It's kind of hard to pass
and
this
I have
up.
lethal on board for next turn anyway.
Okay. I can get behind that.
I just don't know if we've seen all our new cards yet. I don't know if I should be killing him or trying to draw the rest of my deck.
What do you think of Forbidden Words?
Forbidden Words, I think this card seems very strong. Like my initial instinct was, I don't know, this seems a little. Look at this. 6. That's still lethal. 9, 10, 11. Ooh, new card. Soldier of Fortune. I'll talk about Forbidden Words in a second, but
Okay.
there's a new card
card
here.
so we have to drop
Whenever this
everything.
minion attacks, give your opponent a coin. A 5/6 elemental for 4. Interesting. This seems pretty tough to use. Obviously, in a deck like this where you can silence it,
Yep.
it's pretty powerful. A 5/6 for 4 is very strong. But it sort of harkens to Hoarding Dragon to me.
Yes.
Which was the 5/6 dragon for 4, which just when it died, your opponent got 2 coins. This is going to be pretty similar, except it's better if your opponent's trying to deal with it.
Right. Hoarding Dragon wasn't super powerful, but I think with this card, there's no circumstance where you play this card and your opponent deals with it, and then you're way behind as a result
That's a big
of it.
problem with Hoarding Dragon.
The only way that this card's going to make you sad is if you actually get to do the damage with it, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So we have 11, we have 15. We're not quite there.
All right, well, we're going to cast our Forbidden Words and get done with everything.
Right, yeah, we're just hitting him in the face, and then we're moving on. God, we're drawing so many new cards, it's hard to get through the turns.
Oh god! I wanted to heal, and boom!
Yeah, Forbidden Words is one of those cards that I think is similar to something like, say, Psychic Scream. It's not necessarily like a build around with a bunch of other cards, but it helps all the other decks work.
Right, and if you compare it to Shattered Pain, right?
Yeah.
Shattered Pain, one of the big problems with Priest and Shattered Pain, Shattered Death. Ooh, a new card.
This one's actually pretty good. It reminds me a little bit of a Tar Creeper in a way, where it's like we specifically design a card so it feels relatively powerful, because we think that relatively powerful mid-game taunt creatures, not exactly what I would have done there, Keaton, but relatively powerful mid-game taunt creatures are kind of just good for the game, I think. Sometimes they get too powerful, sometimes there's giggling advantage.
Well, one of the big things, comparing that to Tar Creeper, right, because that was, it's a 2/6 that's a 4/6 taunt if you don't have the other minions. One of the main uses of Tar Creeper is, despite it being a defensive creature, is protect my other minions.
Yes,
You
exactly.
so often would see people with Tar Creeper, that protects their early game stuff that, like, oh god, this Tar Creeper is just shutting down my ability to attack into with my minions.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I think that card looks pretty sweet, but we are victorious.
All right, so we're 1-0.
So 1-0.
1-0, yes.
We're showing Chalky up already. This is super good. So let's jump into the collection manager super fast just to recap some of the cards that we saw. So we saw 7 new ones for the Priest deck. And
Did we see them all?
Did we see them all?
I think there was one that we did not see.
I'm a failure, we didn't see it.
I believe there was only one, so let's find out.
We did see the Forbidden Words I was talking about before. One thing I just wanted to say, comparing Forbidden Words to existing Priest cards like Shattered Pain, right? This, for anything that costs 1 or 2, this is better or at least as good as Shattered Pain. It's only a 3 attack minion that you can kill with Shattered Pain that this is worse against. And then anything bigger, well, you could never kill that with Shattered Pain anyway.
Yeah.
So this gives you that flexibility. And with Shadow Visions rotating out with Ungoro, you need flexibility in Priest. One of the biggest problems with Priest removal historically has been that, it's pretty inflexible. So you need to be able to access it with stuff like Shadow Visions. And this
finally killed Twilight Drakes,
right? Yes, I was joking. This is Shadow Word 4, basically. Costs 4, kills a 4.
There you go.
Okay, so
I think the only one we may have missed was the 4 drop down at the bottom, right above Soldier of Fortune, if memory serves me correct.
We actually got that one.
No, we did get it.
We got
Well, okay,
yeah,
cool.
so I think we made it through.
So we saw all 7 of them then.
Cool. This is kind of an interesting card, because this either works really well with just a minion that is obviously something you want to silence specifically, like an Ancient Watcher, but can also just be, I just have a strong minion.
I have a giant minion
right,
to
it's
play.
Just
I would like a copy of it.
4, right, give me a copy of it. And it can't be something you buff to be giant, because it's going to get silenced. And it can also, it can take away a freeze effect on your minion and give you another thing. So this is a pretty interesting card, for sure.
Well, and so one of the questions I had, Dean, for you specifically, is with this, obviously we have this self-silencing mechanic that this deck is comprised around. What was the intention behind that mechanic being built in?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think just like any other archetype that we introduce, it's this is something new that people haven't generally been doing lately. And honestly, this archetype specifically, maybe this will end up being very powerful. Maybe it'll end up being tier 2 or tier 3. But cards I think like Convincing Infiltrator and cards like Forbidden Words are kind of the tools that Priest needs in order to explore a bunch of different archetypes, like having flexible removal tools and then having mid-game taunt creatures that help you get to the late game and do some value or combo stuff that Priest is kind of used to doing.
Right. Yeah, it's super cool. Like I know cards like Ancient Watcher and Arcane Watcher. You look at cards initially and you're like, okay, when would I actually ever use this within, you know, one of the decks that I'm actually going to be building? And then this self-silencing mechanic is super cool.
Yeah.
Allows those cards to become viable,
Sure.
and then obviously use Unsleeping Soul. You get a copy of it. It's also silenced, and then do some damage on face.
The kind of deck that this style is weak to is like the deck that's just removing all of your creatures like every single turn, because your silence effects start to become like basically useless when that happens.
Right.
So you know, if you're in a meta and most decks out there aren't playing a ton of removal, like maybe this deck is an option for you. But if every deck is a rogue deck that's backstabbing and eviscerating and, you know, doing a bunch of temple plays, maybe it's not.
Right.
So it's just kind of
Try
like a meta.
backstabbing this guy. Look at it. It's
There you
problems
go.
of force.
It's a little more difficult.
His
Yeah.
back has quills on it. You can't stab it. Come on.
true.
It's the name Shade
true.
Quill.
That's just dangerous.
That's why he's so good against it. 7 health. Right?
Well, and so I was going to say too, so we didn't see Madame Lazul played within this deck, but how does that synergize with the cards? Like when you guys were building this deck behind the scenes, how does it synergize with the rest of this?
I think basically Madame Lazul is just kind of like a cool card that fits into a lot of the priest fantasy that we've been exploring, you know, just in Hearthstone at large in the past, you know, few years. As a 3-mana 3/2 that essentially just kind of gets you a card and it gets you some information. It's relatively powerful. It's clearly a value-oriented card, so you know, if you're playing in a meta with a bunch of aggressive decks, like maybe this is going to fall out of favor. But just in general, as a 3-mana 3/2 that gets you some information and draws a card, it's pretty good. So I would expect to see it online.
Yeah.
Sweet.
She's
Now I
good.
will say,
She's sweet.
I had flashbacks to you almost burning another card. You burned Gul'dan a long time ago. You got to 9. I got nervous watching from the sideline.
I was counting, okay? Like I have, you know, a history that I'm aware of too on these reveal streams.
I feel like there's basically no way you were counting. There's too much going on there to know. that
From
you
the
were gonna
side,
be
I
at
got
9.
nervous because cards were just coming.
Galaxy
Well,
Brain
you
right
just
here,
knew,
right
yeah.
here.
That's
I've
what you
played
do all day.
I've played a lot of Cleric Circle of Healing and all that.
Right,
You're
right,
explaining yourself.
Hey, this
you're
is why
talking
Brian
about the
Kibler
game.
is the pro here.
Right, sure. Okay.
So he's learned his lesson. It did not happen. Well,
Yeah.
we've got another match to get to. We've
All
got
right,
Warlock
top of the next
versus
game.
Mage. So we are going to be playing Warlock. The name of that deck is Imps. All of the Imps. So I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of Imps within this
I
deck.
would guess so, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't name the deck myself, but judging by the name, there's probably going to be some imps.
I would hope so.
So this, I'm assuming, will have the scheme, which makes a lot of imps.
Yes.
What is it? It's Reform scheme.
Reform scheme, yep.
Makes an imp for each turn it has been able to upgrade.
Yep. So within this one, so we've got 4 new cards in Warlock and then 3 for Mage. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, Dean and Brian, we're going to have you guys take it away. Chalky, let's see if you can get the W. If not, Kibler's going to go up 2-0. But let's jump into the gameplay.
So from looking at this feels like it is a deck that's looking to play a bunch of stuff and probably sacrifice its stuff. That's one of the themes that makes a lot of sense for Warlock with the lackeys and everything, because Warlock already has stuff like Grim Rally and.
Sure. What do you think of Evil Genius?
This card seems very good.
Yeah.
Like very, very good. Here we're gonna mulligan. We'll mulligan this.
This
Ooh,
looks
we-
pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna keep these. Ooh, another imp. It's imps was in the name, so I had to keep the imp.
Of course.
It's not a new card though. We only have 4 new cards in this deck. Oh, an imp.
Yeah, so I think one of the things with that 2-drop over there, I think it changed its name. What is its name now?
Evil
Oh, no,
Genius.
it's been Evil Genius for quite some time now.
Okay.
Yeah, like the power of this card kind of hinges upon, you know, are there cards that you actually want to sacrifice? I think Witchwood Imp is maybe one of those cards, but you have to have kind of a critical mass of cards that you're okay with sacrificing in order for it to be powerful.
Well, you know, there are obviously the things that you specifically might want to sacrifice, like egg type cards, as well as just the fact that this gives you lackeys, which can potentially fuel your other cards that want to sacrifice things. You have a lot of ability to play sacrifice effects alongside.
Yep. The lackeys themselves.
They like dovetail very nicely in terms of how
It's a good point, because the lackeys themselves they're 1 mana, 1/1 battle cry. So the power a lot of times in the battle cry, and the 1/1 that's left behind is very easily able to be sacrificed.
All right, we're just gonna Evil Genius here. Pounce.
So we need some lackeys.
Get some lackeys. Oh, I didn't buff this. We got some lackeys. So we have Discover a Spell and Discover a Spell. Okay.
Generally more powerful 1-drops than we would give you otherwise. The lackeys cost 1, but they're a little bit more powerful than that.
Yeah, they definitely seem pretty sweet. All right, well, this imp is down, so we do have more imps remaining in hand, though. Speaking of imps, Doubling imp.
So do we want an analyst?
I kind of want to.
We could do the
Let's
greedy
start with
thing.
the lackey.
Yeah, the greedy thing is you discover.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely go for.
I'm not sure that it's the right play, but it's
Whoa,
it's
this is
the
a
good
new
play.
card. Inferno. I don't think I've seen this.
This is probably in our deck.
It's probably now we're discovering it.
Yeah.
Give your demons +1 attack, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. That's interesting. So this is, if you're playing a demon-heavy deck, this is, pretty good against other creature decks where you can like help, sort of wipe their board. And it's not totally useless against control decks too, because if you at least get to buff your demons +1 attack with it. I kind of feel like against this mage deck, this is going to be hard to use. We'll take the new card just so we can at least see the animation of the new card. And then we'll play our Void Analyst to get greedy and get you for 2.
Yeah, certainly the world where you're buffing a full board of minions and then killing 7 of their minions. It's insane.
Look at how many demons
like
they have.
How consistent can you make it?
Yeah, that card seems pretty sweet. I want to see the gold animation. Ooh, Chaki's he's just drawing cards and pinging over there. He's kind of slow.
Traditionally, Warlock doesn't necessarily have access to things like Savage Roar.
Right.
So having a card that is kind of like a wide buff in a class that tends to go wide is generally pretty powerful.
All right, well, I feel like I want this Demon Bolt. Going wide, just giving some sort of removal. Maybe he plays a big thing.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Seems pretty reasonable.
And then I think I'm just going to play a Doubling Imp here. Because
I
could like life tap and play a Blood Imp and try and get both these buffed by this.
It seems pretty greedy.
But that's pretty greedy.
We're against a mage with a bunch of cards going into 5 mana, so I'm gonna guess that we're gonna have to fill this board more than once.
Well, I want to at least get the pressure on now, and right now, this obviously is very synergistic. Rather, this is very synergistic with the Doubling Imps in play too. Getting effectively double buffed because I have 2 of them, but nothing else in play is a demon, right? This is not a demon, right?
No. The building kind of zoo lock is kind of interesting in the world post Keleseth because they've been building decks with Keleseth for a very, very long time now. So going back to the world of okay, well, what 2-drops do I put in?
Mana Reservoir, an 06. Oh, for a second I thought this was going to be Arcane Explosion. But dear God.
Well, still wasn't that.
Still wasn't good. It was very close to that. Oh, got it. This is going to be so hard to kill.
Mana Reservoir, that's just going to stick around.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so 0/6 elemental with +1 spell damage. We did get.
There's a lot of stats, right? It doesn't have any attack, but generally that's more stats than we would give a 2-drop.
Right.
So that's a lot of help.
Yeah, and one of the things that's important, with spell damage, obviously, is you want to be able to maximize it, right?
Yeah, you want it to stick around, and that's what it's going to do.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. It's an interactable sort of board thing that's not itself going to be pushing damage or anything like that. But
yeah, so 2/4 is going to line up pretty well. Wait, we got our Doubling Imp down with the buff.
I mean, we're just gonna play these. I think we're gonna play this to help preserve the rest of my board. I don't really want to play this Flame Imp.
Yep.
He didn't get buffed anyway, so.
Yeah, if he's running spell damage, we already saw a couple AoE cards, so. At least we're Warlock, so we can always draw cards.
It's also worth noting this is an elemental, and while a lot of the elemental cards from Ungoro are now gone, there are some new elemental cards that we saw. There's Scorch, there's Elemental Evocation, so this helps you enable a Scorch. You potentially can play for 0 with Evocation, and
I think Elemental is just kind of a space that is interesting for Mage. So I mean, this is the first set of the year, right? So this card's going to be around for 2 years.
Dart Frog.
Ooh, it's one of my favorite cards.
Oh God!
And Ray of Frost is pretty sick too.
So this is one of the interesting things with Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost, specifically with the Sorcerer's Apprentice, is super good because
and Dart Frog.
It's effectively 0, and then you're just keep firing them. Just keeps firing all my guys.
That's a combination I've seen a lot in playtesting. It's like you get a Sorcerer's Apprentice, you get a Dart Frog, and then you just kind of have a slew of spells that basically turns into an AoE.
Well, I feel like it might be time for me to start life tapping because I don't really have too much going on here. We can't even kill this Dart Frog. Or this. This is still just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, and I mean, you could Flame Imp Analyst Inferno.
Right. It seems pretty bad.
Doesn't seem great. The Analyst isn't buffing a whole lot.
I feel like I'd rather just kill this and life tap here. Yeah, we're gonna life tap. We're gonna start things out with life tap. There's also just okay.
Yeah, do not underestimate the power of the Dart Frog.
Yeah, this guy seems.
There's so many times where I've left the Dart Frog
here. It's like, oh God, this thing's.
Yeah, the Dart Frog is his tongue is out.
He's also a beast. There's a lot of randomly like mage-oriented beast cards right now.
Yes,
I think APX Void has this Safari Mage.
Yes,
it has like
yeah.
you know the Untamed Beastmaster.
I think, yeah,
you get this
when
guy
you draw
Untamed Beastmaster. Oh my god,
Okay, it's huge, right?
he's just the frog that will never die. Okay,
I really like Dart Frog. It's one of my
I'm
favorite
gonna play
cards.
this Phoenix Circle, even though it lines up pretty terribly against the Dart Frog.
Dart
but
Frog is really very
I
happy.
think the
that
rest
you're
of my
gonna play that.
turn sucks.
He only has 2 cards in hand, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's nothing. Maybe he doesn't have spells in his mage deck. Maybe it's just all mana
Like
reservoirs.
my other plays also just suck. So I really hope the rest of his hand isn't Dart Frogs. Okay, another Raven. He played a Raven last turn too. Mm-hmm. So this guy, people haven't seen it, is battle cry, discover a mage minion. And one thing I think is cool about this, there's a lot of actually like fairly like situationally really powerful.
Ooh, new card.
Situationally very powerful mage minions. Like you get, you know, like a Hexler Malacras in a game where you're like low on resources or Antonitis. But back to the Magic Carpet. Why don't you play a 1-cost minion, give it plus attack and rush? Okay, so they jump on the Magic Carpet, they fly over.
Yes. Very flavorful. You got it right away.
I get it.
Initial design will be very happy.
So, well, so we can play Magic Carpet. We're gonna play the Magic Carpet because I want to see its animation too. Come on, fly. He didn't fly.
Well, that's.
But we can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're gonna Inferno. Boom. Look at this. Carpet.
So this is
Flame
good.
Imp flies into this,
So this is just
and kill both the other guys. All right, and we still have the Magic Carpet in play, so we need to draw some more.
1-cost minions. I imagine we're gonna have
we have
some
a
more.
5/2 Flame Imp too. So we're hoping he doesn't just like have. I guess if he has one big thing that doesn't give him a bunch of extra resources, we can Demon Bolt it. But
Yeah, I imagine, you know, he's playing Dart Frog and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Probably a bunch of cheap
this
spells.
mage deck is probably a bunch of cheap spells, yeah. There's some
and
value
there's like
generators.
Mana Cyclone, which is one of the new mage spells.
Yeah,
or
Mana
mage
Cyclone
cards
is
that
one
really
of the
wants to
more
do the same
powerful
sort of
ones.
thing. Oh, Meteorologist. Okay. Don't hit him! Don't hit him! Don't hit him! Oh,
That was not what he was
my
looking
Flame Imp's got his dancing shoes on. He is ready.
Not what he was looking for,
No, not at all.
Yeah, so we have tap and our opponent doesn't, which is going to be good for us here.
All right. So I just want to draw more things to send in a Magic Carpet ride.
Hinge Clan Hag.
Yeah, this is a newish card.
Yes.
But so this, gives you a 3/3 and 2 1/1s with all minion types amalgams, which is obviously very interesting with my things that affect demons.
Yep.
Doesn't get affected by my Magic Carpet because they aren't played. They are summoned by this. So we'll start with Life Tap. Demon Fire.
Would be affected by something like Demon Fire if you needed to do that.
Well, I think here I'm gonna go. Boop. Let's see what these look like. They look kind of funny.
They look a lot like the 3/4, the other amalgam.
So, I think I just want to kill this guy. I'm gonna put that 19. I could just trade here. I could also bump this in Demon Fire so I can keep this alive, but it'll just get pinged to death.
Yeah, he just gets pinged to death. So I would guess it's probably right to just attack, play the 2/2, put some pressure on.
And then we have good removal over here.
Look at that art for Hinge Clan Hag. This is pretty creepy to me.
I mean, these guys. It's like a Murloc that looks like an 8.
This amalgam.
No. There is an Antonitis. Okay. Uh-oh. Magic Trick. Oh, this is almost going to be definitely 2 fireballs because you can just pick and get a 1-cost. That was one thing when we were talking about Magic Trick. It's really good with things that want you to cast multiple spells in a turn, whether it's Antonitis, whether it's Mana Cyclone, whether it's the Dart Frog.
Yes.
No!
Those 3 cards are the ones that synergize the best together. And Antonitis is actually the card that makes the deck tie together because you cast a bunch of low-cost spells, you can kill a lot of minions, but it's hard to just beat your opponent.
Okay, well, he has 2 fireballs, so life tapping gets real scary now.
Yes. I would guess that
got a plan.
Demon Bolting here is the thing to do.
Yeah. All right. I will attack you for 7. And my Reform Scheme, it's not upgraded yet. Only 1 imp. All the imps, maybe later.
Not quite what we want yet. So our opponent has 2 fireballs, maybe more.
At least 2 fireballs. Oh God. Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost? Uh-oh. Oh no.
Fireball us.
Fireball and ping. Wow. Chalky just playing Freeze Mage over here.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a Frostbolt in hand or something.
Yeah,
So I mean, we actually can't tap.
Well, wah wah. My evil scheme.
These, it wasn't a very good scheme, wasn't it? This is the downside to schemes, right?
Rafam, your plan is terrible.
A lot of the schemes aren't very good in the top deck scenario.
Right.
So playing them in decks where
Oh
you're
no!
really looking for a top
The
deck.
Fire Eater Fireball.
All right, so Keaton got there.
Twin spell. Ooh.
Conjurer's Calling. All right, so Keaton got us. It's 1-1.
All right. All right.
So what did you think of the imp stuff?
I think that the demon stuff, like the imp flame, seemed pretty cool.
Yep.
I think that it's sort of Warlock traditionally has had a lot of like kind of go wide, sacrifice my guys, or go wide, pump my guys type of decks over time. I think that the evil genius, the lackey stuff with, say for instance Grim Rally and such seemed powerful. It felt like I drew a lot of stuff that went wide, but nothing that really took advantage of that.
Yep.
And I think if I have Grim Rally, if I have maybe other sort of effects that can help take advantage of the fact that I have so many creatures, it would be great. The frog though made sure I didn't have very many creatures for long because just.
I think Keaton might have chose these matchups. So might be where
Yes,
we're
he
going.
did. Yes,
He's like,
most
Chris,
definitely
Chris
did.
is talking about how I lost, and I don't like that. I want to.
He's like, oh, I got to strut my stuff a little bit. He's 1-1 now. So let's jump back into the collection manager as well.
All right, what did we miss? Did we miss, miss any of the new cards?
We did. We definitely missed one of the big guys down at the bottom.
Ooh, Mad Summoner. Battlecry, fill each player's board with 1/1 imps. It is itself a demon.
Pretty good with Inferno, because then they just
Yes.
all die. Yeah.
You get imps, their imps die. Also, if you have anything that benefits off of trading minions, like for instance, say you have the Spirit of the Bat.
Yep.
Right. One of the issues with something like Spirit of the Bat is, if my opponent's playing a control deck, right? They don't have ways for me to get these trades. It's like, okay, well, I'll give you a bunch of stuff and trade in my small stuff into it. It doesn't necessarily work if you're trying to take advantage of this guy's like board fill ability because you can't attack with those right away.
Stuff like Sea Giant's pretty
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah,
If
you
obviously need a minion on board. I've
trade
definitely
off
I've
first,
definitely seen the version of playtesting where it's like you just play it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna play these Sea Giants, and then you.
Well, you could like Sea Giant. You could play like this Grim Rally Sea Giant.
Yep.
And then like Inferno their guys, and suddenly you have a gigantic board, and they have nothing.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of so those combos are really exciting, but of course they're like super late game
Right,
kind of things. So it's just a matter of like where do you
this
find the
guy.
balance?
That's what I was saying. Speaking of gigantic,
Jumbo imp, and speaking
Jumbo
of things
imp.
that benefit off of having your things die, right?
And Imp specifically goes good with the scheme, goes good with Mad Summoner.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, like I was just talking about, it's like, I didn't have anything to take
Yep.
advantage of the fact that I had all these imps.
This is
you
one of
make a bunch
those
of imps.
things.
It's like your opponent has to kind of figure out. It's like, okay, can I afford to kill all of those little guys? Because if I do, maybe a giant guy comes down.
Yep, that's
Right.
that's the idea. You're gonna have stuff like Jumbo Imp, stuff like Sea Giant, and obviously Inferno is gonna go a long way into covering your bases and like being able to build your board
Yeah.
and destroy your opponent.
right? Now, I'd be curious too, if you had like your ideal scenario of how would you start with this deck, what would it be? Like, what cards would you be like, I want a mulligan to make sure I got these puppies in my hand in order to stack the board and hit face?
So I think with a lot of aggressive decks, you kind of want your one drops. So I mean, just like the old faithful, having Flame Imp, Void Walker, and I think specifically in this game, we actually had the pretty good combination of like we had Witchwood Imp and we had Evil Genius.
Sadly, my Witchwood Imp trigger went on my Evil Genius instead of keeping my Flame Imp alive too.
That would have been better, but it's not always going to go your
true.
way.
It's true.
But the Evil Genius is going to be one of those cards that if you can trigger it early and then get the gas going with all of the lackeys themselves, and then maybe you draw another Evil Genius, and then you're able to keep that train going even more.
Right.
That's the space that you want to be. So you want to either have all your old faithful one drops, or you want to kind of figure out how do we take advantage of Evil Genius, which is this really powerful card in the right circumstance.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, one card we did miss on the mage side, so if we could back out real quick and jump into the mage side, was Kirin Tor Tricaster.
Oh, this card is very interesting.
So it was the one card that Jockey did not get a chance to play.
4-cost 3/3, spell damage +3, but your spells cost 1 more with the flavor text. The math checks out.
It's one of those cards that, as someone who works on game balance, when you make a card that costs 4 and then you say spell damage plus 3, that's like, well, that's kind of scary, you know. But I think the fact that your spells cost 1 more, a lot of times what you want to do with high spell damage cards is you want to, you know, play a bunch of cheap stuff. Yeah. Like spell damage goes a lot better with a bunch of cheap cards than it does with one expensive card. Mm-hmm. So when you tack on this text, it kind of makes what you can do, like, it's still cool, but it's less generally about taking like 30 damage in a turn, which can kind of be frustrating to a lot of, you know, Hearthstone players out there. But it is certainly a very interesting card.
And I think that this specifically combos well with stuff like Shooting Star. Right?
Yeah,
it's like
super
this is
well.
a cheap card that really leverages that extra spell damage,
Yeah.
or like unexpected results. Right, you play this into unexpected results, and suddenly you're getting 2 5-drops.
Right.
And maybe you have that combined with Khadgar, and you get 4 5-drops.
Yeah. So sometimes you do the thing on the one turn itself, because turning Shooting Star into a 2-mana deal 3 to, like, that's insanely powerful. Deal 4 to like 3 different enemy minions. Like, that's clearly a very, very powerful thing to do. And if you can stick this card, then that lines up for a whole bunch of crazy
if you
stuff.
Just pair it with Sorcerer's Apprentice, it's as if you just had a 4-cost minion with spell damage plus 3. You know,
right.
Kind of go off. Pretty cool.
Sweet.
Cool.
We got more games to play.
We do.
All right, let's jump into
next
our third
matchup.
game.
We got Druid versus Paladin. We got 2 new cards in each deck. So, a little bit on the lighter side. We still got some new stuff to show. It's
Cool.
gonna be good.
I just want to talk a little bit too about the last game. One card we didn't get to play was Reform. Reform is one of my favorite cards in the set.
Oh yeah,
the
Reform is super cool.
The text bot itself is pretty simple, but it's really, really cool.
I mean, one of my earliest favorite cards in Hearthstone was Elise Starseeker.
Yeah,
right?
which is.
And I also love that she was
the
the villain, or rather that Reform was the villain, and trying to steal all the artifacts. It's like, oh, he just stole the golden monkey.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the new version of Reform. He's like, aha!
I have it.
Yeah.
So now I'd be curious too, like in your guys' opinions, like Reform, when is the best time to actually play him, right? To get all those legendary minions, is it like cool when you're about to be down and out for the count, you play it, hope you get the one legendary that can save you from, imminent death, or is it no, play it as soon as possible?
I mean, as soon as possible, you get a way more chance to play sweet legendaries. I mean, realistically.
You would think, but I know that there's those use cases.
Realistically, I think that you're probably going to want to hold on to Reform until you've used the removal that you have to deal with what your opponent has on board. One of the things I think is really interesting about Reform is it gives you the ability to play, much like Elise back in the day, like a very removal-heavy deck that doesn't necessarily have like a lot of expensive win conditions. We have seen for a long time now with the hero cards, right? That they often kind of played a similar role. You didn't necessarily have to have tons of ways to win. You just had your hero card that could largely carry you. And this is going to do a similar sort of thing, which is, well, this is kind of your 1-card win condition, but it happens so differently each time because you get a bunch of different legendaries each time.
Absolutely.
And maybe you get Millhouse, and you're like, uh-oh, can I play Millhouse here? I don't know.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's understated when it's like, well, when do I play Reform? Sometimes you play Reform when you need a 7-mana 7/8 taunt, which is just kind of fine, right?
Absolutely,
like,
the
there's
value
a lot
you
of
get
times,
from the
like
card
you're playing Zoo, and like one of the ways to close out games is by playing a 7-mana 7/8 taunt, and it protects some of your minions that are maybe buffed now. And then it also itself is just a pretty giant minion. And if all of that gets removed, you're not really in a dire position anymore because you're Zoo with no cards, but you're now a deck that's filled with a bunch of legendaries. So it has a bunch of different options.
Chad, I got your back. I hit play.
Exactly. We're diving into the gameplay. We said we're going to get to it faster again. So we're going to dive into this next game again. Druid versus Paladin. We got 2 cards in each deck to showcase. So Brian, Dean, continue to take it away. Let's see if we can get that 2-1 on Chalky.
All right. I'm going to keep these.
I really like Mountain Cellar. Mountain Cellar is a card that we mulliganed, but there's a lot of Druid.
The 7-cost.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Druid decks that just happen to have, it's like, hey, you have Innervate, and there's a whole bunch of really low-cost spells. You just kind of fit
this
it.
This guy's super cool.
Stelandris is also really cool.
I may just coin him out. Ooh, cast a random Paladin secret. Okay. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Boom.
Hopefully, there's not really ways for Paladin to deal.
Right, that's why I want to play this guy right away.
Yeah.
This could be like Noble Sacrifice. It could also not be Noble Sacrifice.
I actually wonder, is there a way to deal with this if you're Paladin? There's got to be, right? Well, that's not it. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get past our
Secret
card.
Paladin. Okay. Well, I have multiple choose ones. I think I want to Wrath this.
Yeah, Wrathing seems pretty good.
So we're gonna Wrath. I like, by the way, how because of this we now have different art.
Yeah, we have the art. The art's really, really
Each
cool.
Get new Solar Wrath versus Nature's Wrath. I will Solar Wrath this, which will give. Oh, never surrender. Oh, rude. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that one is a. That one's a bit of a triggering one sometimes, especially like.
It literally triggered one.
Can you imagine just playing like you're playing Druid and you're playing against the Paladin and then you gotta swipe your like a board of 1 health minions? Yeah.
Now this, for those who hadn't seen it, this secret right here, Never Surrender, was recently revealed. But whenever your opponent casts a spell, give your minions +2 health. Like against any kind of AOE effect, it's super strong.
Yeah.
And it was really obnoxious right there even. Oh god.
Never Surrender is actually one of the only secrets that can, like, has the ability to win the game.
Crucially, this Desperate Measures, which we saw, was what put that in play, does not trigger the Secret Keeper. So I don't have to worry about, you know, this becoming a 3/4 there.
All right,
I'm going to play Solar Wrath on this.
And let's get the second Never Surrender.
Ugh. No!
That's gonna be.
It was! Oh my god! Okay, well, I guess I'm just trading and hoping that this isn't repentance.
Yeah, so do you think it's worth flooping in that circumstance? You get 2 mana back, but what do you do with the 2 mana, I guess? I
could floop and then play, you know.
You could play Nature's Wrath on the Redemption, or you can just get the 3/2.
I could also just, like, if I wanted to, I could, like, innervate Power of the Wild, get the 3/2, and then, but the problem there, you know, is that, like, I get both spells in my hand from this guy, but if this is Noble Sacrifice or Redemption, then the Secret Keeper lives.
Yeah, what's more important to you, right? It's like, do you want the resources, or do you want...
I want to see these animations. Okay, we'll get this.
You want the Panther, we're gonna get... There's a number of things that get us here.
That was the other one. That didn't work either.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're fine. We have a bunch of stuff. Leader of the Pack and summon a Panther.
Yeah, so Solandra's just got a ton of resources there. Like, these cards in the hand are totally fine.
Right, all of these are fine cards. They're not, like, great cards.
Yeah, that's why they're in our deck.
I effectively drew 4 cards there, you know, with that, so.
What do you think of Dreamwave Guardians? Dreamwave Guardians, I think, is pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, this card, I think is really good, especially with AoE buffs like Leader of the Pack. Mm-hmm. Really good. Ooh, Bronze Herald. I like your style.
But you're playing...
Ooh, new card.
Oh, new cards. Okay, let's see
Holding
it.
a spell that costs 5 or more, deal 4 damage. Ooh. Wow, okay.
The downside is we're not.
We're not, yeah.
So
But this card is really good. Like,
yeah.
one of the really powerful cards from back in olden times, Blackrock Mountain, was Blackwing Corruptor.
Oh, okay.
Blackwing Corruptor was super good.
Cool.
And yeah, this is, you know, a similar card in terms of you get a 5-cost, decent-sized body. It does more than Blackwing Corruptor.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I mean, like the damage is enough to destroy like most mid-game creatures. I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna go back to Gormok the Impaler.
Whoa,
which is also pretty similar.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna Dreamwave Guardian. Then I'm gonna Leader of the Pack.
Shall we hunt?
Then I'm gonna attack this. So look at this, boom. 2/3 lifesteal, 2/3 lifesteal, 4/1.
It's pretty good. Like so you play Dreamwave Guardians in more of like an aggro tempo deck, and a lot of times people will say it's like, well, your health total doesn't really matter that much in those matchups. But I mean, like cards like Candle Shot, I think has basically disproven that. Like the life total that Candle Shot saves you in Hunter is like extremely valuable, right? And I think the same is going to be true for Dreamwave Guardians.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And this card, especially with buffs, I mean, not Crystal Druid, but Dreamwave Guardians, you know, is just extremely strong at giving you a way that you're gonna like dominate a lot of other creature decks. They can't race you, right?
Yeah. Typically, token aggro Druid decks have been like the dominant, you know, minion strategies.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna play Acorn Bearer.
And then what are we thinking? Are you thinking about playing...
I think I'm just going to Soul the Forest.
Yeah, Soul the Forest seems pretty good here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the secret's going to be. It's probably not the 3rd Never Surrender. I guess it could have been.
Yeah, because one of them was off of the...
Desperate Measures.
Okay, so it's Noble Sacrifice. That's fine.
I'm going to heal back to 30.
Yeah, getting back up here.
What's the... okay, so you have Summon a Panther in your hand, and then the Nature's Wrath is the 1 damage version?
Cycle, yeah. Deal 1, draw a card.
Which is good, because we kind of need cards at this point in the game.
We do, we're pretty low. We need, for instance, 5 spells that cost 5 or more.
kind of interesting that we have that in the deck, considering Token Druid's not really known for its fives.
I really like, by the
or
way,
more cost spells.
the we sort of glossed over it. The dragon dude, what was it, Dragon's Herald? The dragon that gave my opponent these.
Yeah, it's like the 3/2 that death rattles and it gives you a couple of 4/4 dragons.
Yeah, and I think this is really really cool. In part because it's also the what is Dragon Speaker that battle cry, give all dragon in your hand +3/+3. I was joking that I'm just like, these just seem like cards that are just made for me because all I want is to hand buff and play dragons, and it is both, which is glorious.
Yeah, I think the card that puts 2 dragons in your hand, it's kind of just fuel for how dragon mechanics work as well, because like, if you're holding a dragon, it's generally like how you get the benefit from those cards. So I think giving you a couple dragons is good.
We could gloop here, and then swipe this, which gives us the mana, trade here, which gives us 2 more mana, but what are we even doing with the mana?
That's a good question. Like we're basically hoping to get something good off of our nature draft.
I'm just gonna do this. I could just trade in this guy and play the other 1/1s.
You could just hero power as well.
Yeah, I think I want the 1/1s. Boop. I get the 2 1/1s in my hand, I get the 2/2 at play. We're just gonna go wide like this. I hope we don't get Consecration.
Who plays Consecration in a playtest stream? We're trying to have
Chucky who wants to get his W's.
that would be cute.
He just mass AoE'd me when I was playing the Imp deck, so.
That's true. It was basically Magic Dart Frog. Magic Dart Frog in itself is like, it's basically like, oh, I'm a Flame Strike and I'm also an Arcane Explosion. And it's kind of hard to remove that guy because he's just constantly removing all of your stuff. Is
this a new cute card? Just the squirrel off of the acorn thing?
Squirrel's pretty cute.
He actually kind of looks evil.
He looks a bit mischievous.
Yeah. This is a squirrel who he is like really just plotting where he can find every acorn in the world to take over.
We have our cute artist and then our mischievous evil artist, and that one was sent to the evil artist. That is Consecration. Why would he do this? I'm
gonna play Consecration to get this token deck.
Keaton is a bit of a tryhard.
It's a new card.
All right, so we got Sunreaver Spy. If you control a secret, gain +1/+1. So that's a 2-mana 3/4. If we discover a secret, works really well with our cast a random secret card as well.
All right. So this is a 5/8. That's pretty big. I still don't have anything to trigger this. I may just cycle this and see if we can find something to trigger this.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do.
I think we want to be in a space where we have some spells and we can play Gloop and Mount Cellar in the same turn. I don't know if we're ever gonna get there.
Great.
That was a good one to get back, assuming he has any secrets left in his deck. So we're in a bit of an awkward position here, Brian. I'm not gonna lie. So we can just hero power his guy, I guess.
I'm gonna play one of these.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it lines up pretty well versus his guy. We're just gonna kill this thing.
I think we're just gonna attack face. Because I don't want to give him another secret if he has another secret.
That's true.
We'll just see what it, because if it's like auto defense, it's like, that's just bad for me too. We can value trade this, but then,
It's not really that good.
Yeah.
The board's pretty awkward for
I
him.
want my 2 damage. Ooh, okay, so we know one of those is a dragon. Oh, the other's the other dragon too, so we know he doesn't have any. All right.
So we just kill that one anyway. I wonder if this is okay. So we can trigger it.
Finally, but now he has a 6/5 and a 3/5.
It's a bit of a problem, yeah. So we can kill the thing because maybe it's a gives the minion Divine Shield when you attack it, which would be pretty bad on the attack.
So we attack this, and then attack here, and then play this
we're
here.
probably War Maging the 3/4 regardless, and then.
That's true. I guess let's play this to start.
I wonder how are we going to get value out of this floops? Do we just play the minion now?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, we kind of want to play it with this too. Like we play this into this.
We kind of want minions on board for the floops as well.
That's true.
Time waits for no one.
But what if he has when you play a spell, it gets +0/+2. I'm gonna attack this. Okay.
That's probably going to be redemption then.
Oh, okay. So it's got to be, what is it?
I don't know.
It's not repentance.
It's not repentance.
It's
not
not
redemption.
Sense. It's not. Does he have a hidden wisdom?
It must be hidden wisdom.
Hidden
Yeah. 3 cards in his turn.
Ooh, another one.
Serious Blade.
Oh god, he has a 7/7. Right?
That's like a 2-mana 3/2 weapon. That's probably too powerful to make, but on a build round, we can make it, right?
Ooh, yeah. Ow.
So we're gonna need to do something different than what we're doing now to.
I had 1 more mana. This would actually be great because play this, and this. Get hit here. Play this. Well, so I gotta play this.
Yeah. So we think one of the cards is Hidden Wisdom, and
now he's gonna get the hidden wisdom off. Okay, so we're gonna play this. Boop. There's the Never Surrender. Dear God.
Remember the sun.
I'm gonna attack this.
we kill the minion, and then our opponent is staring at 16. We have 17.
Yeah, we're
So
not dead,
so
but
we're
he gets to
fine.
draw 2
We're
cards.
fine. So that was a way to play this turn.
I mean, I wanted to use this.
Oh yeah, because we're getting some
I'm
beasts.
playing Druid, and he has 2 giant dragons, one of which is untargetable. So I gotta like go
consecrated
in.
you. We're just gonna blame it again on.
No, I gotta
really
go in and like do something here that can actually like give me a board that can threaten to kill him. I can't really react to his board. I just don't have any tools that do that.
Yeah.
Also, I got an owl. Unlucky.
That's true. It could have been a Mukla.
Yeah.
Does Keaton have any damage? He's playing Paladin. Paladin's not, generally known for being.
He just has a quality consecration in his hand. That's the deck he built, right? He's like, this is what I'm gonna play against a token deck. Probably gonna be a Pyromancer.
So it's actually kind of embarrassing for him that he lost the first game to us, given that he built these decks, I think.
Uh-oh. No dragon. Phew.
All right, so we've got 8, 13, 17, 18, 20 damage possible next turn. So he's got to kill some stuff, and using his face doesn't really help.
Oh, he had another weapon. Okay, that doesn't cut it.
Mysterious Blade. Okay, so what do we have? We have 7, 10, 12, 13, which isn't enough. Unless my counting's wrong.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's true. Well, we can nourish.
Yep.
So let's draw 3 cards.
So we can't live
Ooh,
otherwise.
rampant growth or enrich. We will enrich.
I think we're gonna enrich. Yeah. That's not the one. That's
Innervate.
not the one.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Is that, can it get us, because we have to kill the 7/9, right?
Yeah, I can hit the 7/9, trade in here. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll swipe here.
Okay. Does it depend on what the secret is? Do we have any idea what the secret is?
No, we have no idea. He just played it, right?
Okay.
This turn.
We'll swipe. We're gonna mount sell. That's pretty good.
All right.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
So now we're gonna innervate and get another guy.
Good guy. All right, so we gotta kill some.
So first
stuff
things
here.
first, I'm gonna try and attack this. Didn't work.
Okay.
Okay.
So we just
Now I'm gonna attack.
We just kill it. We just kill both.
Attack this. Oh god!
It's the sensitivity.
The sensitivity of the mouse,
Sensitivity's
yeah.
getting you. It's like when you can't drag your minion
I know.
in Hearthstone, that you probably have.
All
a
right,
mouse
we're
sensitivity.
alive. We're not dead yet. This has been really good. This exotic mount seller.
Yeah, like I said, Mount Seller is one of my favorite cards because sometimes you find yourself in situations where, like,
Ah.
a lot of times, like you'll end up putting Gadget
Fair
and
trap.
Auctioneer in your decks where you just have a bunch of 0 and 1 mana
Yeah.
spells, and this is kind of the same thing with Mount Seller. If you find yourself in a situation where you have like a bunch of 0 and 1 mana spells,
some life
probably a good
steal.
idea.
All right, do I want more cards? We're at 13. We're definitely just gonna trade here.
I think so. In the spirit of the stream, I think we get the cards.
Yeah, we want new cards. You're right.
Power of the Wilds, Blessing of the Ancients.
Ooh, twin spell. Whoa! Give your minions +1/+1 twin spell? Oh wow! So, for token type card, that is nuts.
Yeah, it can be pretty insane. Like, if you look at it like it's a 6 mana give
Let's
your
start with
whole
this,
board
and
+2
then we'll
+2,
do
it
this.
doesn't seem that powerful, but the flexibility is actually really, really crazy. And Druid is just looking for ways to buff their
Right.
entire board.
That card is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially with like this, for instance. against any kind of aggressive deck, you play, make your 2 lifesteal minions, and then you just buff them.
It's funny looking back at like Mark of the Lotus at 1 mana that did this trigger 1 time. Mark of the Lotus is probably one of the most powerful cards we've ever made in Hearthstone. So like, there's room to make something that makes something like Blessing the Ancients and still have it be very powerful.
And so much of that too, it's you're getting multiple buffs out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously 3 cost give your guys +1/+1. It's like it's not really exciting, but like that alone can still be good in a lot of situations. And then the fact that you have the opportunity to use it multiple times, you can use that with your Ravencaller dude. What is it? The thing that makes 3-cost beasts. What's the name of that card again?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm so bad with the names of Hearthstone cards because they change so often. I always feel like embarrassed.
It's not like there's 135 new cards that come out.
In
That's
Hearthstone?
ridiculous.
Like,
Each expansion every couple months.
It's like, listen, when I played that in playtest, it was called Mukla Color, okay? Like it's just
Right, yeah. The one I remember the most is like Igneous Elemental used to be like a Tauren, like in its temp art.
Okay.
So now when people are like, oh yeah, it's the elemental, and then they explain
like,
the card, I'm like,
the
Tauren guy, right? Like,
Okay.
what are you talking about? But anyway, so Blessing the Ancients I think is actually like a piece of that deck that's relatively powerful.
that
It
seems
really
really
hinges
good.
upon like how easy is it to generate a bunch of tokens,
Right.
and I think like cards like Stellandris that give you a bunch of like weird resources and give you some access to like Power of the Wild more often, and cards like Acorn Bearer that give you a whole bunch of tokens. There's enough pieces there that Blessing the Ancient actually kind of like pulls that deck together, much like Mark of the Lotus kind of made Aggro Druid of old. Like that was one of the powerful things that you did.
Well, I was going to say, so let's dive into the collection manager super fast just so we can go over those 4 cards that we just revealed within that game. Now, I know the original intention of this deck was more of like a token druid style deck. Unfortunately, we didn't really get that until the very end with Blessing of the Ancients and stuff.
I mean, this was my
later.
Exotic Mount Seller. This was
Right.
the token that made all game. And this, when you first look at this, you're like, oh, it's a 5/8 for 7, and like summon a random 3-cost beast. It seems like a strange combination of parts, but like the fact that you're getting a 3-drop every spell you play, and there's a lot of good beasts in there too. There's the Emperor Cobra, which we saw there. There's the Jungle Panther, which can be tough for your opponent to remove effectively. You can get King Mukla.
Yeah,
you can get some
King
really
Mukla is
really
like
sick stuff.
the high roll out of it, and maybe the 1/4 is the.
Well, I was curious too. So we saw Token Druid top of the meta, 2 expansions ago, and then it kind of fell off with the Druid nerfs that we put out. So where do we see a deck like this within the meta once Rise of Shadows comes out? Like, do we see Token Druid kind of coming back to being top, or?
I think so. I think cards like Blessing the Ancients really make that deck work a lot better. And there's also like versions where you're playing a bunch of treants, and there's that version of the deck as well.
I mean, this card just seems so good to me.
Yeah.
This card just seems ultra powerful. It's like very, very like quietly awesome because it's giving you 2 threats. The lifesteal's very relevant, and alongside any kind of buffs, and especially with things that can multiple buff like Blessing the Ancients, there, it just seems so good against any kind of aggressive strategy. And even just token things against control strategies, it's like you can't just single target removal them, right? You need to use a weapon swing or a targeted spell, or use your AOE. And you're using your AOE on like a 2-cost thing.
And it's cards like Blessing the Ancients that now make it so you have to kill these 1/2s. Like you have to dedicate resources to killing 1/2s because maybe they're 3/4s next turn, so you kind of just have to deal with it.
There's 4 cards in this deck that actually trigger this. That's why it was just sitting in my hand for so long.
G10.
That's why when you guys were like, there's no way he's going to put Consecrate in his deck, and I was like, I was playing through it last night. He actually has that. And he's probably going to play it right now.
Or giving Keen a lot of crap. He did a really good job putting together these decks. I think a lot of these archetypes are kind of like showing through. Like the Silence Priest deck I actually think is like a pretty good representation of what it's going to look like on live. And I think
it's super unique too.
We're never going to get to the, like in playtesting we tend to work with like what are the extremes of these decks. So we're like, okay, when we're looking at the absolute extreme of what does it look like when you're using all of these new cards, or what does it look like when you're trying to deal 50 damage to your opponent in 1 turn. Like we're trying to make sure like the crazy outlier stuff is okay, but really like we're never gonna build among the card design team like the absolute best version of the deck that's gonna go on live. You're gonna get millions of players playing it. So our hope really is that you see this token deck, you see like some of these cards are really exciting to me, and then the community at large is gonna build the best version of that over time. And I think whatever that version is actually gonna be pretty awesome. Blessing the Ancients is one of those tools that just kind of ties it together.
I love this guy, Keeper of Stellandris. It's like super cool in that
super
game.
Cool.
You get Like I like that he gives you this sort of incremental value over time. That like you kind of figure out ways to use each of the different parts. You might generally only use like one of the the modes of a choose one on a regular basis. But it's like okay, well, now I'm looking to use the other one as well.
Even if you just do it one time,
Right,
like generating two cards.
Yeah, because you're playing these choose one cards as one version anyway. You know, and getting. I mean, this was just Wrath. It's just like okay, I get to Wrath and draw a card, killing your guy, and then get another card that kills a guy and drops me a card, then another card that kills a guy.
It's just like a ton of resources, right? So it's pretty good.
And not having to just play a ton of card draw, but have the ability to generate those resources is really interesting.
Force Aid, which is the card at the bottom, is also a card that helps this deck a lot. Sometimes when you're playing a token deck, one of the issues that you have is like, okay, my opponent has these 4 removal cards. They drew all of them. They played all of them. There's no way for me to generate a board anymore. So while this card is like, what you really want to be doing is playing all your very efficient, like 1-drops, 2-drops, and filling your board and playing Blessing the Ancients. Sometimes you get to late game where your opponent cleared your stuff a few times, you didn't draw your Blessing the Ancients until late, but then you still have Forest Aid, and Forest Aid's kind of hard to remove. You play it, it fills your board, they have to spend a removal, and then you play it again next turn, and they might not have it, which leaves stuff like Blessing, stuff like Savage Roar, it leaves you able to cast these cards.
And it's not necessarily, this is like the all-star, like super important. Your deck isn't built to be a Force Aid deck. It's like your deck is built to be a token deck, and this just gives you so much more staying power against decks that would otherwise be a really tough matchup for you.
Exactly.
Well, I know Chad is probably dying for the last game.
They're like,
guys,
let's play the last game. Sorry, we talk too much, right? It's so interesting to talk about Hearthstone.
It's super good stuff. But see, that's why I'm here
I'm
to try and keep
excited.
the
We're
structure.
about to release the expansions.
I
and
know,
stuff that
we're
we
only a
worked
couple
on.
days away.
It's
We're a
really,
couple
really
days
cool.
away. So for the last match, we got Shaman versus Hunter. We got 8 new cards for the final match. And again, Kibler's up 2-1 right now. So you feel pretty good?
I mean, yeah. Now I get to play.
That
so
confident.
my understanding, too, by the way, and I haven't seen. I specifically asked to never see the cards before these reveal streams because I want to be surprised. We're still missing the Shaman Legendary, right? There's still Shaman Legendary that has not been revealed yet. So
that is correct.
I am stoked to see what it is.
What kind of deck would you say this deck is going to be based on?
It's called Hagatha's Murlocs.
I don't know. Maybe
So
some
it's either a
Murlocs.
Hagatha deck or a Murloc deck.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
I mean,
I don't know, we'll find out.
I played Quest Murloc with Hagatha in it. It's like, okay, I fell behind. Now it's time to reload with Megafin and then get spells for
Hagatha's pretty sick.
Ooh.
Cool. We'll dive into it. Last game.
Whoa, there he is right
There
away.
he is right away. Don't mulligan that.
Oh my god. Scargill. 4-cost, 4/4 Murloc. Your Murlocs cost 1. That's super cool.
Yeah.
You can, obviously one of the issues with Murloc decks is, you need to assemble all these various synergy cards and you have things like this other new card over here, Underbelly Angler. Maybe they give you additional sort of ways to generate these Murlocs, but there's a lot of inefficient Murlocs to combo with, like, I want to Cold Light Seer, I want to be able to play my Warlord. Being able to play all that in one turn because they all cost 1 is pretty nuts. And
Angler is pretty sick because as you can imagine, we have Angler.
It's another new card.
And we have Scargill.
I'll keep it because it's new.
Oh yeah, okay.
And the timer's going down.
Let's just bring him into our
new
hands.
cards.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, the game's actually progressing. So this is another one. Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Murloc. So obviously one of the big problems with a lot of Murloc decks is, they just kill your Murlocs.
Yeah, they wipe your board and you're done. The cards like Soul of the Forest, for example, and Druid kind of alleviate that, and Soul of the Murloc is kind of the version of being able to stick around longer, like Soul of the Forest does for Druid.
So Hagatha's also awesome, by the way.
Hagatha's really cool. It's kind of confusing on first read, but I think once you get it, and once you're combining the spells, and once you're getting this crazy minion into your hand, it's just like the fantasy of it is really, really cool.
All right, so
we kept all these cards. Normally we want like a 1 or 2 drop, probably.
I would have
for the
mulliganed
Murloc
this.
stuff.
I would have definitely mulliganed this in real
There's
life.
new stuff, right? So we got to see it.
Oh.
All right.
All right, well, so this is, normally I'd want to say, okay, I have a Tide Caller. I want to play Tide Caller into my Murloc, but this is an ability that lets me.
It's probably more important to get the Murloc.
Yeah, I want more Murlocs. So we're going to play the Underbelly Angler.
So Angler is just a River Croclix that
coins.
gives you a ton of cards, right?
And play a Tide Caller.
I think Angler is actually fairly powerful. It's one of those cards that.
Yeah, this card seems really good.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there's lots of Murlocs that they want you to, you usually just sort of snowball a board with Murlocs, right? It's like, okay, I play a Murloc, then I play a Murloc that buffs that Murloc, then I play a Murloc that buffs all those Murlocs. This, you kind of want to play, and it's like, okay, well, this is going to feed the Murloc, sort of chain there.
And imagine you have Scargill in play, and you're just over 1-cost Murloc, 1-cost Murloc, 1-cost Murloc.
I will pretty soon. I'm looking forward to it.
I think, like, honestly, like when you play 2 Murlocs and then you play a War Leader, that game is generally going to end very, very quickly.
Well, we don't want that. We're gonna just play this into. Ooh, bow. You're killing my guy. At least I got a trigger.
He just plays Eaglehorn Bow into our Murloc deck?
Jeez.
Wow. Why would he do that? Okay,
Well.
so what do we do? We can Oracle and Hero Power. We can Oracle and Soul of the Forest. We probably don't War Leader into his bow. But I guess we're going to have to get rid of it someday, right?
It's true. I'm just gonna. This is also interesting because this gives all minions, so it actually gives you a use for your totem in your Murloc deck.
Yep.
Because the Shaman Hero Power in a lot of decks, it's like, unless I have a Flame Tongue, it's almost doing nothing, right?
Yep.
Whereas this, it's, your opponent has an AoE, it's like, well, now your totems, revenge of the totems to become Murlocs.
Seems probably fine just to play the Oracle and Hero Power then.
Yeah. You can kill one of these with a bow.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to want... Actually, it's kind of interesting because both of those are threatening to some degree. You want to kill the Tide Color, though.
Yeah. And Scargill's interesting because you can play it in turn 4, right? But you can also just wait and play it like, okay, I'm going to play this turn 6 and play this into War Leader into Cold Light Seer.
That's one of the things with Scargill. I mean, he's a 4-mana 4/4, which is fine, but I mean, if you roll him out just on turn 4, like, what are you going to do? Like, stick Scargill? Like, it's hard for him to...
Take 4.
Exactly. Whereas,
That's not the best use of this.
unlike Mana Reservoir, the card in Mage is like a 2-mana 0/6, like, that card's going to stick around,
Right. Wow. Ooh, rapid fire. Twin spell, deal 1. Oh, that's really interesting. So there's a lot of hunter cards in this set that are kind of spell oriented. One of the ones that hold on.
Mutate.
Oh, this is just a evolve, but it's a guy.
Yeah.
Once.
It's the baby evolve.
Okay, for 0.
And it's what is it, like a Murloc with? I don't think I've really taken a
got
close look at that
wings.
art
Murloc with
before,
wings.
but now that I see it, it is admirable.
No, Admirable is a caster.
I see. No, that's Admiral. That's Admiral.
Oh, you're right.
He
My
told me
bad.
that, yeah.
My bad.
So,
But no, with rapid fire is pretty cool in that there's the weapon that comes off the legendary weapon that comes off the legendary Vrisa Windrunner, I think
Yep.
it is, that gives all of your you spell damage +2 this turn.
It's pretty good
Like,
with
with
twin
that,
spell,
right? You're
yeah.
like, okay, shoot you.
basically, like, 1 mana Frostbolt over and over again.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything.
Are we going to
exciting
attempt to stick Scargill on
But
4?
we don't even have anything exciting to do with it next turn.
He's kind of a 4/4.
Yeah, but our opponent, we know we have a twin spell or rapid. All right,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I guess
play. I'm
that's
gonna play
true.
the Scargill because nothing else is exciting.
That's okay.
Gonna be doing. So, but we have our backup plan of Hagatha later.
Yeah, Hagatha is going to give us all kinds of resources, and we'll be fine.
And then if
What we really want is, like, we want to top deck Angler and play Angler War Leader into 3 more Murlocs.
Wow.
That's the plan.
Ooh, that's the secret. Oh yeah. Angler,
It's not an Angler.
Cult Master. Well,
What are we doing with it? If we play Cult Master, it does force him into, like, a weird position of, like, I'm going to kill the...
what do I think this is? What secret is this? Are there new secrets? I don't even know.
So if we just attack, what's the worst case scenario? It's Freezing Trap, I guess?
Because there's no more wandering, right? Wandering rotated.
Yeah,
Unless
so-
there's like kill a Murloc that's attacking you.
That would be dirty. Keaton would put that in his deck, but
Alright,
if
I'm
it
gonna attack.
existed.
Explosive.
Okay, that's not the end of the world. Good that we didn't play the Cult Master.
So now I think I'm just gonna Hero Power, War Leader, and Soul the Murloc.
I don't think we should do it because it's not really that fun, but this is one of those circumstances where playing Mutate's not really that bad. We have a 4/2, 4-drop.
Not doing it.
We're not doing it, but we could do it.
We could do it. We could do it. But no, I'm doing this.
Okay, this is pretty good, actually.
Because I have this Cold Master too, right? So
Yeah, it makes our board pretty resilient. If he kills all the stuff, plays a minion, we trade all the 1/1s in, draw a whole bunch of cards. Seems pretty powerful.
this seems pretty powerful too. Like Hagatha is obviously a pretty bad 7-drop. 7 costs 5/5.
Yeah.
But be able to play the Hagatha, get your horror for the next turn, and then mutate the Hagatha into an 8-drop. And 8 is one of the best.
Yeah, it seems really good. And obviously, 0 cost is extremely flexible. You can just play it on anything you want, whenever you want.
Safeguard. What is this? It's a 4/5 mech with taunt, who's clearly just a
He's a safe.
He's a safe
with arms
and he's guarding
legs. Yeah, he's guarding.
Death
He's a
Funnel
guard.
0/5
he's a
vault
safe.
safe with taunt. So this is very Sludge Belcher like, right?
Yeah.
It's less efficient, costs 6, but it gives you 10 health worth of taunt your opponents to get through. Speaking
It's
of,
good with
Death Funnel-
Ziliax.
Ooh, I can't kill this anyway.
Okay,
Alright,
so we could draw some cards.
We could. Yeah, let's do this. We'll Cult Master. We're gonna attack this.
Sledge Slurper, because that can get us a lot of things. That can give us the rush card.
Right.
That can give us the. That's not gonna be it. We do force him to make some really awkward decisions the next turn by not attacking.
It's true. I'm just gonna play this and say go.
Murloc.
Well, no,
tasty
I can,
food.
if I attack with this, I can play this. Then yeah, no, I want to do that. I can play this because he just gets an 0-5. We are just gonna trade this.
All right, we have some resources. We have Cult Master in play, so
Get another card.
it's okay that we don't have that. Yeah, Vault Safe has been okay in playtesting. It's one of those cards that's like you can, like Ziliax is so powerful and goes in so many decks
Sure.
that Ziliax sticks to either end of this,
Right.
which is kind of nice.
Yeah, you get a 3/7 even if
Yeah.
you kill the front half. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we playtested it at like different stats and like 4 and 5 mana, and ended up feeling like having the later body was just a little bit. It was a little bit less frustrating when like you
Sure.
wasn't playing Ziliax on 5 and like a 3.
Obviously,
or
not
something.
even just Ziliax too, but like this being a mech that leaves a mech body for like a war gear or
Yeah.
for a beryllium nullifier. You know, any of the just the big
It
things.
just eats a ton of health. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
there's not really a lot of other cards that can say like you're gonna have to eat through 11 health for 6 mana in order to get to me.
I just hope it's like a top tier competitive card. We just see that like clock face, or the safe face. All
It's
the
a
time.
guard that is also safe,
Yeah,
so
I get it.
only naturally.
see what you did
the
there.
name had to be
So this looks like our opponent is trying to
set on an explosive.
trap us.
Yeah.
Ooh, Toxfin. Battlecry, give a friendly Murloc poisonous. Whoa, okay. So this is a Murloc that you can get from the the various things. This is the Murloc that discovers Murlocs. Did that rotate? I think that rotated. I forget what it's called.
Well, now
It's a
that's basically
3/2.
the version of that now is Angler. Here it's
Okay,
getting all
yeah.
kinds of different stuff.
But in many cases, Murloc's against like a big thing, right? You're like, okay, I have all these tiny things. You're like, I play a giant, say a safeguard.
Yep.
You're like, okay, well, my little Murloc Raider or Murloc Scout can kill it.
Yeah, Soul of the Murloc is also one of the targets for that too, right? So you're just getting a whole bunch of 1/1 Murlocs that don't really do much. All right, so Bloodlust isn't good here.
No.
So do we eat the explosive, or do you just kind of wait a turn? Okay.
Boom.
We draw some cards.
Yeah.
We get a Murloc in play.
Those.
Yeah, so we should.
I expect he has stuff to take it. Ooh, oh god.
So there's the Angler. We can play the Angler. We can play some other stuff.
Boop.
So we're back to refill. We don't even have to play.
Oh look, you just killed my board. Here's my board.
Yeah, it's.
Here's my hand. It's got a bunch of stuff on
Quest
this.
Shaman used to do this,
could've
where you
played
play
this
the
up.
legendary and you get your hand refilled with Murlocs.
Right, yeah.
And
This-
now
this guy's actually-
there's a
this
lot
guy's
of stuff like
awesome.
that, right?
Yeah, and this guy, he's just a 2/3 for 2, right? Like he's just
Yep.
a decent stat minion. He can be buffed by your War Leader, your Seer, all kinds of action.
All right, so now our opponent is going to die to Bloodlust, so he should do something.
Well, we've seen 2 explosive traps already, so unless he has like a secret plan.
It's really it's Unleash. But even Unleash, I mean, you have
I
like
just have a lot of guys,
2.
and what?
like
1,
3
2,
health
3
minions in play.
3 of them are higher health. Ooh, 9 lives for the safeguard.
Wow.
Oh,
sick.
that's kind of funny.
Wait, well, he got the back end.
Right,
so.
but he gets the other one in hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, he gets the 0-5 in play. That's kind of sick.
Now you're gonna have to eat through a lot of health.
Oh, we can do that.
That's kind of like what we do.
Yeah, I've got.
Our generation is
the
like
heck?
mostly gone.
We still have a Toxfin too.
Yeah, Toxin's pretty good.
So if he wants to play I think we probably want to use the Toxfin. We probably
the
use the
other.
Toxfin in the other half.
Right. The other half because it doesn't like kill all of our stuff.
Right. So, we can't actually kill this. We just Hagatha mutate, and this only becomes 3 damage to it. We could just Hagatha mutate and play another guy. I want to play the Hagatha because I want to see. I want to see this.
We want to see what choices we
we're gonna
get.
do this.
What minion are we gonna build?
Okay. Our minion will. So you have one targeted, one non-targeted, right? I'll target a big bad voodoo.
Okay.
That actually seems kind of sick with the Hagatha. We're just gonna do it. And then Stormbringer. Oh my God, we're taking
You're
it.
sick. All right, let's do it.
They don't really work well together, but
That's okay.
But we're taking that. Okay.
Yeah, Stormbringer is a lot of time the
Now
one
we're
that
gonna
you want from
mutate
this.
and see what we get. Ooh. All right.
A Dr. Morgan. And our trigger on the Mana Worm went off.
Yeah.
We're looking pretty good, I
Oh
think.
my god, we're gonna Stormbringer. It's gonna be glorious. We can even play Henchclan Hag into Stormbringer and get a full board.
It's pretty sick.
Sadly, we are, the fact that we mutated doesn't really matter too much, but I wanted to see if we got something sweet to let us punch damage. And yeah, the Big Bad Voodoo is gonna, not work because it's gonna Stormbringer away.
That's true.
But I don't care. We're casting Stormbringer.
Yeah, Stormbringer is the one that we
that's just
want.
like, that's just what we want to do.
You want
Casting Stormbringer is basically just what I want to do in life.
Stormbringer is pretty sick. If you're the token deck and you're casting Stormbringer, basically you're doing it correctly.
Oh god, he's got so many
Safes.
Oh no, and a Spring Paw.
They're so
He's
vaulty.
ruining our plan. And now I can't even attack it. Oh, you're oh man.
I mean, you can still attack into the thing, right?
Well, not this one. I mean, I guess no, I can with this.
Because this one's gonna.
Right. Okay.
So you'll lose one minion, but.
Yeah, because it's gonna give me a new minion. No, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's Stormbringer. Oh yes.
That was actually pretty sick.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, we're gonna kill this guy before we Stormbringer. Let's kill this guy, and then we're gonna play this to get 4 guys or 3 guys.
Yeah. That's fine.
And then we're gonna do this.
Doesn't matter.
It's Stormbringer anyway. Dude.
Big Bad Voodoo, and then we're
Boom.
gonna Stormbringer, and we're gonna get a bunch of Nat Paggle. Oh no. So we have.
My first spell is free. I can blow this for free.
do it. No.
Oh, and we got a
We got another
Scargill.
Scargill. Sick.
And we-
nice. We have
We got
Tact and
Glinda, so we
Auspice
can
here.
play every Murloc as much as we want for 1.
Wow.
Like we
That's
can
pretty
just
sick.
fill our board with war leaders.
Wow. So if he removes all of our minions except for our Scargill and our Glinda, then we still have,
You know what
to
to do,
get the
Chalky. You know what to do. Just leave these 2 up, and we just go war leader, war leader, war leader, war leader.
What did you think of Tack? I think Tack's kind of interesting. So,
This card?
Yeah.
Oh, I am really looking forward to like prepping in academic espionage after playing this guy.
Or the scheme. The scheme's like
Scheme, sure, with
made
Pogo
from-
Hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tack's really cool. It's one of the decks that I've been really wanting to build. One that I'm not sure is going to be like the most competitive thing ever,
Yeah.
but also is like going to be super fun.
I mean, I'm super stoked to play like espionage steel type.
I'm
round
always
with-
psyched to build those decks.
Yeah, but,
It's super
but
fun,
like
yeah.
the fact that you actually have what's the 2/3 that gets +1/+1 in Rush? I forget the name of that card.
I was going to say Underbelly Angler. I think it's something fence. Underbelly fence?
Okay, that sounds accurate. Oh, you killed it. Scargill's dead. Ooh, and there it is. The
There's the
Zodiacs.
Zodiacs on the safe. All right, so we have a
Oh
lot
my
of
god. Okay.
stuff.
Well, so I could just play 4. Or
You could
we could
play
3 war leaders.
You could play a bunch of.
We could play this guy.
You could play
Wait, hold
Hogsteed, Bloodlust.
Yeah. We could play
Oh no, you could play Hogsteed,
All right, we're doing
Bloodlust.
this.
Wow, sick.
Hogsteed.
I don't know what this is gonna lead.
Neither
us
do I,
with,
but this is what I want to do.
So
Bloodlust. Okay.
whatever the lowest attack one is, yeah. Then these guys are rushed, so we want to use them.
Yeah, these guys have to attack into this. These guys are gonna die and give me guys regardless.
Yeah, you just healed your opponent to 30. Try. For some reason, he wasn't expecting, even though I knew that was what's gonna happen.
And then I'm just gonna attack you.
Okay.
And we just still have all these Murlocs. We don't have enough space for all of the war leaders we could play. I still have. Look at this! Look at this board.
It's pretty nice. What do you think of that Murloc art? That's pretty good, right?
He's just like the googly-eyed Murloc.
He's very happy.
Henchclan Squire. Why is he? Oh, because he's from the Henchclan Hogseed. Okay, I was like, what?
And he's riding
Oh my
backwards.
god, he just has so many.
Why does he have so many vault saves? I think we're okay though. This has got to be it, right?
Well,
we have to eat through so much life.
I mean, we can get
So
this guy.
we have the Toxfin, and these are Murlocs, yeah.
But we also we can play war leaders too. So we can play this. Play this war leader. We trade this one in.
Okay,
Play
and then
another war leader.
we probably play the.
No, because it's just these 2 each kill these. 'Cause we have
Oh
2
yeah,
war
yeah,
leaders.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Boom, boom, and we will, of course,
Now
get lethal with a dragon.
very nice.
Boom.
Cool, we did it. We won 3-1.
Yeah.
Keaton built all the decks.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. All right, cool. So the last deck we had for Shaman was the Murloc Shaman stuff. What I really like Underbelly Angler. That's one of the going to be the drivers for that deck. And Scargill is like he's kind of like a combo card. I think he works really well with the Angler, and also it's like if you generate a bunch of resources in your hand, there's a bunch of like weird stuff that you can do. And of course, like you can try to stick him on 4, and then a bunch of crazy stuff will happen. So. And Sledge Slurper is also just, I think, like
good.
one of the most powerful cards in the set.
Right, I think this is a card that just goes into like most Shaman decks, probably.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
One of the big problems Shaman has historically had is it has a fairly weak early game. And this gives you a one-cost minion that you can fight for the board with that also gives you another one-cost minion you can play. Powerful one-cost minion you can play on your overloaded turn on turn 2.
Yeah.
Which is just really, really powerful.
It works pretty well. I think like when we're talking about like what are the cards that we want to be powerful, it's like, well, Sledge Slurper, like it works with any overload stuff that we do in the future. It's using some of the new mechanics like lackeys that we think are really interesting and cool. And it's also a Murloc that works with the set. So when we're talking about like what are the cards that we want to make powerful, that was really one of the ones that we wanted to target.
And Angler is the sort of card that I love because it's a card that's powerful that like generates additional resources, but it also just like does it in a way that makes the games play out different from one another.
Yeah.
You play this and it's like, ooh, this game I got, a bunch of Bluegill Warriors, and maybe I'll play this way. Oh, I got Scargill, I got Tasty Fin. Like, oh, how does that change?
In the same way like Discover works, and like when you have stuff that makes the game feel different, it
and
makes
specifically
it really cool.
Murloc decks suffer from getting low on resources. Like you have a bunch of small minions in your deck. It's like, oh, it's one of the reasons the Murloc Quest was like, it was a powerful effect, though giving up your turn 1 as a Murloc deck was always really tough with the quest. This gives you the resource generation that a Murloc deck wants to help you reload and keep pressuring on that board without having to make that sacrifice of, I can't even put Tidecaller in my deck.
Yep.
So I will say, there was one hunter card we did not reveal.
Okay,
now before we
let's
jump
check it out.
into that, I was curious, is this the return of the Murlocs?
Yeah, I mean, of course it is, right? Toxfin, having Underbelly,
Just
Angler,
buff lock
Scargill.
decks.
Yeah.
These are sick.
Now,
Soul of the Murloc is one of the ones that kind of ties it together as well.
For sure.
right. Now, I mean, let's get to the real meaty question. Who is the cutest Murloc that has ever existed in Hearthstone? Is it Tiny Fin? Hedgeclan Squire's pretty.
Hedgeclan Squire's pretty
Hedgeclan
cute.
Squire's pretty good.
Tiny Fin's the cutest.
Yeah,
though, I
the
think. It's
Hedgeclan
not.
Squire, it just doesn't really compete with the Tiny Fin.
Okay, so Tiny Fin all day.
Cute. Let's be real.
I mean,
But,
he does have the big sort of googly eyes. He's like falling off of that little boar.
Yeah,
I guess it's like, who knows how big the boar is because the Murlocs are really
he's
small.
not riding it in the way that I would ride a hog if I was, a hog steed rider, but.
What would that look? Anyways, let's jump to
Let's move along.
We've got
backwards. It's backwards.
We've got one more hunter card to show that we did not get to, Ursatron. So if we could we jump to hunter real fast and showcase that?
Okay.
Because I'm sure Chad is like, guys, you said 8.
Show
we
me the
saw
card.
7.
Yeah. Ursatron, not to be mistaken with Ursatron. Draw a mech
Cool
from
mech
your deck.
bear.
Death Rattle, draw a mech from your deck is a 3/3 for 3. Okay. Huh. Interesting. So one of the things that Hunter has historically also suffered from is resource generation, right? We have Rexar, which obviously did a lot of heavy lifting in that.
and now he's gone.
But Rexar's gone. And the last set introduced Master's Call, which is excellent for some Hunter's decks. But if you can't play Master's Call because say you're playing a mech deck, you want to have something like this, which seems pretty powerful. And there's Fireworks. What is it? Fireworks something? Fireworks
Tech.
Fireworks Tech. Fireworks Dude.
Thank you, Dean.
Fireworks man.
Dude.
He just sets up the fireworks by the mechanical bear, and it's just like, hey,
Boom.
Here's another bear.
Yeah, 3-mana 3/3 is just kind of good on its
doesn't
own.
want more
And
bears.
if you're making the sacrifice of putting mechs in your deck, because that's not normally something that you would do in decks that are really powerful right now. Like Midrange Hunter was around last expansion. It's not losing a ton of resources. It's losing some stuff, but I imagine it's still going to be around. So I mean, you get to play cards like Ursatron if you're not playing like the decks that are already like pretty powerful, which are like the All Beast Master's Call decks. So it's just kind of pushing in a different direction to see if there's another piece there. Maybe it's something we could support further in the future as well.
Right. And you can like chain 9 lives with this guy. You just like he gets.
I'm starting to think the thing that you want in 9 lives is just vault safe. Because that was just like we had to kill like 3 heroes worth of health. Yeah.
Good thing we had infinite war leaders.
That's true. Yeah. Giving the Stormbringer.
Gotta love the
pretty
Stormbringer.
sick. Yeah, Stormbringer was pretty sick off that
that's pretty
Hagova.
awesome. Well, you 3-1 Chalky. How do you feel?
Disappointed in 4-0.
That's true.
Wow.
You did say that you were in a 4-0.
Can't even be confident and happy with what we got. We got to go for the 4-0. I feel bad for Chalky because this is 2 live streams for Rise of Shadows.
I feel good for Chalky
He
because
failed out.
he built the decks and we had
He
some
did.
pretty good experiences. We saw what all the archetypes did. I thought the cards played pretty well together. We got to show off a bunch of really cool stuff. So
Right.
I bet he's happy back at his desk.
And I know last time Chalky was helping us out, we had the unfortunate bug. We squashed all those this time, rocking and rolling.
Nice,
but I know he was also trying to do that as well last time. So we'll give him some credit there. We'll give him some credit
Thanks,
there.
Keaton.
But yeah, so again, 28 brand new cards. You all saw them. Super exciting. We're rocking and rolling. Brian, thank you so much for joining us again. Did you have any final parting words? Anything you wanted to plug?
Well, I'm just looking forward to playing these cards, and I know that we're going to be doing that from here tomorrow. Some of us are doing the theory crafting live stream.
Right.
It's going to be happening tomorrow.
Yes.
And you can probably speak more to that than I can, right?
Yes. So Theory Crafting live streams, we promoted it yesterday. So essential goal of that is we have 6 people coming out. We've got Crip, obviously Brian Kibler in his sweet, sweet coat. We were talking about this before. Was it resin coated?
Yeah, it's a resin-coated hoodie.
Anyways, I'm completely off topic. So Kibler, Crip,
We were talking about it a lot.
we did. Trump, Ali Straza, Nicolena, and then who? I'm forgetting one person. Who's the 6th person? Toast, disguised Toast. You can't miss him. The memer extraordinaire.
He's gonna be
disguised,
he's gonna be
He's
coming
going to be
out.
so upset that you forgot him.
Yeah.
I know. He's gonna meme on me
5
tomorrow.
important people and then disguised Toast.
And then who was the last one? Oh yeah. He's probably locked away in jail somewhere anyways. Just kidding.
true, that's
Just kidding. But yeah, so they're going to be able to play Rise of Shadows in its entirety. They're going to be theory crafting decks, showcasing what they think will be top of the meta. And then we'll have folks like Dean and a couple other devs to join them on stream to talk through what's going on. And then we'll even see some matches, so it'll be pretty cool.
I think I'm going to be theory crafting how many times I can cast Stormbringer off of Hagatha. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Right?
Seems like something that you definitely want to do. But yeah, I'll be around tomorrow in the theory crafting live stream. I'm mostly just looking forward to, I think I speak for the whole Hearthstone team, where you work really hard in an expansion, and then we're kind of working on the next one and the next one, and working on whatever features next, and then when the expansion comes out, it's like we get to kind of reflect on all the real cool stuff that came together, like all the art and the sounds and the effects and the designs and all the stuff that comes together, and then when it goes live, we're all just really excited for you guys to play. So all the decks that happen, we'll be playing right there on live with everybody else. So I'm just excited for the expansion to come out.
Right.
And in particular, because this is an expansion that involves the set rotation. This is the Year of the Dragon now, right?
Yeah.
So it totally upends everything that people have come to know about Hearthstone
Right.
in the past year or so. It's no more, Rexars and Janas in the long game. It's like, okay, am I going to win with the new Rafam? Am I going to win with crazy Stormbringer Hagatha action or whatever?
Yeah.
And to me, every set release for Hearthstone is amazing, but the rotations are the coolest because it really makes you have to sort of relearn what you've learned, and so it sort of creates this totally open-ended world of possibilities.
On that note, it's
extra
actually
special.
it's a good time to come back, because I think when you're maybe when your last expansion and you haven't been around for a while, there's 2 expansions previous and you haven't really been interacting with them, and some of the decks are pretty similar, so you kind of feel like you're behind a little bit. Or when you come back on the rotation sets, everyone kind of starts in the same playing field in terms of understanding what's going on in the meta and what decks people are playing. Everyone's kind of building from scratch just like you. So if you haven't been around Hearthstone for a while and you come back, this is one of the best times to come back to the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked about that last live stream too. New, casual, haven't played in a while. This is the time to join in, especially with those Death Knights phasing out, Baku and Gen, and a ton of other cards.
So it's a whole new Hearthstone world.
Yeah, the meta is completely fresh. So we're going to see what's going on. But again, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Rise of Shadows drops April 9th. Again, we have pre-release weekend starting this weekend, April 5th. So find a location nearest you, or you can host your own at home, like Brian Kibler has done in the past. So super sweet. If you have not followed our Twitch channel or hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page, please do. We just want to keep you up to date on all the latest and greatest things in Hearthstone. And finally, those cool pre-order bundles, this is the last chance to get those before the expansion drops. But again, Brian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been awesome having you. As always, you're a veteran. You've done this 1,000 times. Dean, you as well. Appreciate it. You're great.
Kibler was great.
Kibler's great. You're the best. Your sweet jacket, all the things. So
Try. I do my best.
that's cool. Well, anyways, folks at home, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you soon.